Anyway, it is 10 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started. If you were not in on this before, when we were just chatting, my name is Chelsea Smith. I am your one and only action learning and development specialist, and I am joined here with Randy Lober, your growth marketing manager. Randy, give the people what they want.
First of all, you're no longer Chelsea Smith. You're Chelsea
Oh, that,
Gomez.
dang it. You're right. Already
Just to be
fact checking
clear
me.
for everyone there. But I am Randy Lober, Growth Marketing Manager here at Action Benefits. Happy to stand on the side today and answer your questions, think with you, chat with you about how to make the most of. We're just past the 2 days past the midpoint of AEP here. Want to make sure we check in with you all, make sure that you're comfortable with everything coming up and that you have a plan of attack to handle these next few weeks or so. Chelsea's going to be driving here today, but I'll be, again, your guide on the side. Happy to answer any questions you might have. And let's get off to the races.
So here's what we will talk about today. I actually had to look this up because I had never been skiing before. So this is what we're going to talk about is the difference between some pizza slicing and some French frying. Either you are pizza slicing and you are trying to defend your book of business, or you are French frying and you are going offense and you are trying to ski your way through more sales and using some kind of offensive tactics to get more clients through your doors or on your phones or in your inboxes. So we're going to go over both of those things today. We'll start with defense and work our way into some offensive strategies.
Right. And for those of you not part of the entire skiing metaphor, this is like this idea we had when we were drafting the session, right? Like we hit the peak here at AEP. We're going downhill. So are we going to slow down with our pizza slices, right? That's how beginning ski instructors will teach, that kind of reminder. Use your pizza slice, make that V to make kind of a snowplow, slow yourself down going down the hill. Or is this the time to get aggressive as you're going downhill? You're going to have parallel skis. They're going to look like French fries. And how do you pick up more clients and hopefully avoid any trees on the way down? So that's the metaphor we're engaging here today, just to lay it on as thick as we possibly can.
Yeah, can you tell I've never been skiing before, so I had to look all of it up myself. So it's okay if you don't get the metaphor. Just know we're going to teach you some stuff to do to keep your book intact and then some stuff to expand your book if that's the route you're going. So before we jump into that stuff, just a quick refresher, because I know a lot of us who are on the webinar right now, we're also in our disruption reports webinar. But just as a quick reminder, if we were to look at Action's book of business, 58% of our statewide book was disruptive. And you can see that heat map over there on the right, left. I'm not sure if your screen's mirrored, but on the other side, you can see the heat map there. As you can see, most of the disruption was occurring in the Metro Detroit area-ish, southeast portion of the mitten. And then right up in Traverse City, you can really, really see where Traverse City is, unfortunately. Right there was this little extreme little pocket of disruption. And then all over, however, there is disruption mostly throughout Michigan in some capacity or another. 25% of our book went from a $0 premium to a something dollar premium, depending on what plan they had. 24% of our book had an increase in their premium of at least 20%. There was an 8% product closure, and there was a 2% increase of a 20% or more of that person's deductible. So the deductibles at least kind of were less hit, but man, those premium increases, that's what your clients are probably focusing on. Even if it's not costing them the most amount of money, if they're using a full utilization of their plan and hitting that out-of-pocket max, the premiums might not be the biggest chunk of their dollars, but that might be the biggest chunk of the dollars they're going to focus on because it's the guaranteed thing they're going to pay. I don't got to explain it to you. You already know. So what we did in order to help you, hopefully you utilized this for yourself. If you didn't, you need to get a hold of your account manager so they can get a disruption report for you to make this even easier for you, hopefully. So we created these for you. They outlined your book of business on those exact parameters that I just mentioned. I don't want to restate them to you, but they are there on the screen for you for your viewing pleasure by your member count, and you could more easily figure out what kind of plan of attack that you wanted to utilize for your book. So this webinar today, we could talk more broadly about, okay, maybe you looked at this disruption report and you thought you saw a 98% disruption rate or something, and you're like, wow, I'm never going to be able to get to all of these people. I'm going to do a few defensive strategies, but I'm mostly going to focus on offense and get some other people wrapped into my book of business here. Or maybe you saw, okay, most of it is a premium increase from one particular plan. We won't name any names till later, but one particular plan really increased for me, and it really upped my amount of people who were paying a premium now that weren't before. I need a singular plan of attack to get on those clients' cases, whatever it be. This helped you. And again, if you did not get this for your clients, you should contact us, get it, and we can hopefully help you iron out a plan of attack here today. So PPO Essential, Blue Cross PPO Essential, as we know, is the big deal of this year's AEP. It was here with a $0 premium. Lots of us probably were utilizing this in our books for our clients who wanted that $0 monthly benefit while still enjoying some benefits of some kind. And as we know, for plan year 2026, depending on your region, if you are in the northern area, it is no longer offered at all for you. And if you're in Southeast Michigan, depending on your county, I guess, I don't have the exact lines memorized, not gonna lie, but some of us saw an increase of a $25 premium, and some of us had the plan removed from our docket completely, depending on where we were at. So what did we do? What could you do? In the disruption report, we brought up these options here for you as replacements for the PPO Essential if that was the route you wanted to go. I mean, you could still try to market this to your clients as a good plan. It's not a bad plan by any stretch of the imagination. But as we know, they probably were focused on that $0 premium. So we tried to replace it with some other $0 premium plans for you, or plans that had about the same benefits that were in the original PPO Essential. I do want to bring up, however, that we do have a little bit of insight that we did not have before when we put those disruptions out for you back then. We do now know, lots of ends, that the Humana Access Give Back Plan, we did list it for you as an option. I believe we said it as like it's like something new, or obviously it's not the same carrier. So while it wasn't as touted to us as like the replacement, we had a lot of discussions, a lot of questions about that PPO value and secure plan. That seemed to be where a lot of our agents wanted to take their clients. Just in case you are someone who's very interested in the overarching picture of what is popular, I think some of our agents are interested in that, and some of our clients are too, to be honest. 40% of Humana's enrollment right now currently is that Humana Full Access Give Back Plan. So it is interesting to see these things roll out, and it's cool that we have this information now that we did not have before. So if you feel, if your client feels like they can move to Humana, I know sometimes that can be a big ask of our clients, right? Is to have them moving to another carrier if they were on this PPO Essential. The Humana Full Access Give Back might be a good option for your clients there.
Some of the things that we like about it, and clearly consumers are liking, is Chelsea said 40% of all Humana's enrollment this AEP has come into that plan. Brand new plan for this year. But you've got $102 Part B give back, which folks are probably liking a lot. Yes, you've got a higher MOOP to deal with on that because you're getting the give back, right? The toothpaste tube's got to be squeezed somewhere. But we're seeing some agents have success pairing this with a hospital indemnity policy as well, right? So you can offset some of those hospital costs. What you're also getting in that plan is much more than 950 in dental, and you're getting vision and hearing allowances as well. So if your customer is dead set on staying in essential, they're not getting those dental and or those vision and hearing allowances that they're used to getting this year. So if those supplemental benefits make a difference for them and they'd like a few more dollars in their pocket, that full access give back or really any other options we have here on the screen could be a good fit for you as well. But just we know that you all like to know where you can kind of keep your thumb on the pulse of the market, and that's what Humana has been saying in some of the data they're releasing. It's their hottest single plan this year, so it's a nice place to look.
A lot of our agents had questions too. I remember during these sessions about Zing. I know that I can't imagine we're going to get Zing data anywhere until you get those landscape reports. But they're a big up and comer. I think in our market, if you have not heard of Zing before, or have not worked with Zing, they did a product rollout with us what a month or two ago, and they're competitive and they have that if you have clients who have any sort of metabolic syndrome or obesity, stuff like that, their C-SNPs come in pretty well too as a great competitor.
Yeah. We got some early data, some mid AEP data from them last week. And we can go on to the prime value slide here while I'm talking about it. But just in terms of Zing Health, so they're only in a few states and really only in a few counties in those states. But between Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County, you all have driven 27% of Zing's enrollment this AEP in those three counties here. And there's only 6 days total, so take that with a grain of salt. But they are picking up steam, and 78% of all their enrollment is in those C-SNPs. Whether it is that diabetes plan that gives you your Monjaro at $11 a fill, or there are other plans as well. So lots of good opportunity to pick up on there as well if you're not already part of that Zing explosion yet.
They are pretty meticulous as to where they're choosing to expand. That is the downside. So if you're someone from Traverse City right now listening, I'm sorry. But but us Metro Detroiters, I believe Ohio was the other state they're in. Correct me if I'm wrong.
They've got a lot of Illinois and Indiana as well.
Indiana, okay. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was those two, but I wouldn't want to say it and then be wrong. But yes, they're very meticulous in their expansion. And they people who have them do seem to like them. So I don't mean to turn this into a full plug for saying by any stretch of the imagination, but just keep those in mind as someone new. WellCare joined us new this year as well as and HAP, which you can see here as I drive you back into the slides. Prime Value was another one that had a $0 premium that then changed to having a $35 premium. And while their drugs and their dental changed a little bit as well, there is the Part B give back. That is one. I noticed it with both the blue plans is you could probably if you wanted to, you could try marketing this a little bit as like a prime value scenario. Or I'm sorry, I said prime value. I meant give back scenario. There we go. But I don't see your clients. Maybe a client might care. Oh, you only really have to pay. You could try to argue that that's going to come out in the wash. I just see it as they're going to want to change to a $0 plan, I bet, at that point. And as I said before, on that right-hand side, we have some options that we discussed in our disruption report that might be a good option for you. And then, like I said, like we'd mentioned before, that Humana Give Back and the Humana Full Access are there for your viewing pleasure as another popular option if you are able to beat that hurdle of getting your clients out of a Humana, out of Blue into Humana. Do they offer C-SNPs in St. Clair County? I don't find them in our county. I don't think they do. Right? Okay, I'm right. Okay, yes. I believe it's just Wayne, Oakland, Macomb counties right now. I can double check for you later, Anonymous. Well, if I knew who you were, I would double check for you and let you know for sure. But I'm like 98% sure that it is not in St. Clair County. unfortunately. But once it becomes available, you know the action will let you know because we're here to help. Anyway, so if for more information, please go to the disruption overview videos that you have received in your emails at some point, somewhere, somehow. Um, we sent them out at least once that I know of in your emails. They are unlisted on YouTube, unfortunately, because they do talk about plan details. So if you'd like to get a hold of these and can't find them in your email, please contact your account manager. They would be more than happy to get those to you and slash, or you can contact Randy or myself, and we also would be happy to get those to you. Yeah, no problem. Okay. So let's pizza slice. Let's defend our books of business. You don't want to see me try to pizza slice. I guarantee I would fall because not very graceful. I'm not even gonna lie. Anyway, so my first thought for you as I was thinking of what things I would do as an agent if I wanted to defend my book of business, this AEP, I thought about the DTRR. So the acronym doesn't match what it's actually called. So I had to keep like double checking myself to make sure I was calling this the right thing. But there it is, a notice to confirm disenrollment following the receipt of a transaction reply report. Fancy long word for just saying your clients should have recently or are going to soon get in the mail a notice that their plan is closing if it is indeed closing. So those essentials up north in Traverse City, your clients either have already gotten these or will be getting them very, very soon. I know if my grandma or my mom, I know I bring my grandma and my mom up a lot in these webinars because they're my Medicare guinea pigs. I always observe their behavior to see what a client does in their natural habitat. My grandma just got confused and thought she had no Medicare anymore, and my mom called me and asked me what to do. So my grandma at least got confused, thought she was no longer going to have any health insurance. And she wanted to just call, she was with Humana, so she just got a letter saying that hers wasn't canceled. It's just, she just got one saying that her coverage was being changed. So she called Humana directly, and I had to be like, no, 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 like, you hang up on them, like, you don't call that. So that's always my first concern when they get letters like this, is they're going to immediately call the carrier and not you. And a way to step ahead of that is to write them an email to all and to everyone. You can even word it so that it can cover anybody who had a closing plan and what to do. So full disclosure, and where there's going to be a slide that says this later. I used ChatGPT, or our personal niche favorite of Claude AI, to write this email for me. I typed in you'll see the prompt that I typed in momentarily. I basically just said, hey, I'm a health insurance agent. I have people who are going to get this thing called a notice to confirm disenrollment following receipt of a transaction or private report. And that means that their plan's going to close, and I want to make sure they get some coverage. Can you write me a letter that reminds them when they can do that, and that they should contact me instead of the carrier? Boom, this is what it wrote. I didn't even really edit it. This one, just because I wanted you to raw see what it does. And it's pretty close to what I would send out. I would never ever send out something that Claude writes before editing it. This is what it looks like. And send this out. This way you can just add the name in, well, hopefully you add the name in. You could leave it valued client, I guess, if you wanted to. But then you can send this out to everyone that has a plan that is closing, and make sure that you get ahead of the letter that they're going to get saying that their plan is being closed. So this way they know to contact you. The next one was the premium changes. I don't have any natural habitat examples here because my grandma's plan premium did not change, but if they did, I would guess that the person would also try to contact the carrier because they might get some sort of letter, or they're going to get their ANOC that's going to say, hey, your plan premium is changing. They're going to get their ANOC, which they would have gotten, as you know, already it's already November, 2 months ago, which they would have gotten 2 months ago. And they would have seen that it would have changed. They might have contacted their carrier, or they might have went through panicked, try to find the first way they could solve the problem. And that might not have been you if they don't have you front on their mind. They might have Blue Cross front on their mind. They might have Humana front on their mind. So again, same thing. And the more details that you can put in, the more likely that they're going to understand what you're talking about, give you a call, the better chance you're going to seem to be that expert. Obviously, don't put anything that don't have anything in there that will require a scope of appointment, but something like saying that something like this letter here works well. This one I did edit a little. I gave him a few more prompts, and I'll show you the prompts I put into him after in a moment to make sure I got a letter that was compliant, because this is an option where he straight up was not compliant. And I had to reel Claude back in, or for the Gen Alphas out there, I had to wheel chat back in, and make sure that he was staying compliant. But this is also an opportunity where your clients could get scammed as well. I do have multiple examples of my grandma answering the phone to a scam on her Medicare stuff because she just believes anything that she hears on the phone and gets excited and wants to make a change to better herself. And so another opportunity to remind your clients that those inbound calls are no good. That's a scam as well. If they're going to try to offer to keep your $0 premium without changing your plan, that's not a thing that can happen. So that's one other example of one letter. And then my last letter example is on the OTC cards. Okay, so this one I have heard on my grandma's house as well, where they'll call and say, hey, like scammers will call and say, hey, do you want to add an OTC card to your Med Advantage plan? That's not a thing that can happen as we know, but my grandma did not. So she's like, oh, I'd love to have an OTC card added to my benefits, and not a thing as we know that can happen. So getting ahead of those scammers, getting ahead of the changes to the plans before you talk to your client, absolutely great idea. Get these letters written using AI so it's a faster experience for you. It's a great idea. So there's another example of that. So any one of those three. If these letters aren't working for you, of course, your next step is going to be making that phone call, right? With my financial guy, he makes my phone calls to me right off the get. He just skips right to, because he knows that's how he's going to get the attention of his clients. And it works because I answer the phone and I'm like, oh man, you're the guy with my money. What's the problem? Dude, where did the money go? But the money didn't go anywhere. He's like, usually it's just, hey, this is a better option for your plan. I don't got to tell you that as the agent. You already know that that's the next step. But this might make it a little easier for you to make those steps without having to take the time to make the phone call. Or if you have a client who's hard to get a hold of, this is an option where they can do it on their own. In some of these, depending on what I put in as the prompt, I'm going to go back to the DTRR one really quick. If you look towards the bottom, I have a option for you to put in a schedule online link. So if you are someone who utilizes Calendly, Outlook Calendar, whatever online scheduling system, this is again a great option. So you don't have to keep reminding the client. They can just click the link there, and then your phone number as well. So as I said, if you're going to use AI to create these emails, make sure you front load it with as much information as possible, such as those links, such as your phone number, your email address. But keep in mind that he will not always be compliant. The first version of 2 of these letters he wrote for me included the word best. And as we know, we cannot say that we were a best. One of them said expert too. I did not get a screen grab of that. But he's like, I'm a Medicare expert and you should, no, you're not. So hopefully he heard me when I told him not stop saying he's an expert to anybody. Hopefully he carried that through the entirety. He won't call himself an expert for you, but he might use the word expert. He might use the word best. He also tends to focus his energies less on the value of you as the agent and more of the value of the product that you are supplying, which of course the product is valuable. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making that suggestion. But the real value here is you as the agent, right? So making sure you tell him, hey, the point of this is the discussion and the benefit of me being there to guide the client, not necessarily the product or my kind of tips to you as someone who utilized this to write these notes. Those are some things you should put in. You also could write an email or make a phone call to set up ANOC meetings since you have already made contact with these clients before. You can ask them to come into an ANOC meeting. We already have some videos out there that describe ANOC meetings and how to host them. Basically, anybody who has certain change of their plan, you can have them all come in at the same time, explain to all of them at the same time what the change to their plans are, and then go from there to schedule individual meetings with them to make those plan changes, or you can make them there as well. Marketing events are another option for people. If you already know the clients to get them into that point, or if you saw them at an educational event before, we have an article and YouTube on how to do those as well. So our second piece of information, like type of information for a defensive plan, is to make sure that you have these things ready or collect the information ahead of time for your clients to streamline all of those things. That's a good strategy regardless of if it is a defensive play or an offensive play for you, if you're French frying or if you're pizzaing, is to get stuff from your clients as early as possible. We recommend using Coverage for One, and we recommend using the client intake form built into Coverage for One. That way you can streamline that information effectively into the, for you treating it as a CRM, it would be kind of like holding all that information for you. So you wouldn't have to store it anywhere else, and it's, HIPAA compliant. So that's it. We have lots of different options for you. Video wise to help you learn how to do those. There's just two of them right here. The exact client intake form video is there, and the latest and greatest Coverage for One webinar is there as well. This also gives an option for your clients to do it at their own pace. I know, at least from watching my parents in their natural habitat, they don't remember what medications they're on. They come back later, they add that to the list. They had to go to their medicine cabinet. This lets your client do that at their own pace, so you're not waiting around while they do that during the meeting itself. So that's all that I have right this moment for defensive play stuff. I don't know if anyone has any questions or anything to add before I move into some of the offensive strategies that I might put out there for your clients. Okay. So now we're going into the offensive plays, or the ways that we can expand our business. If we are looking at our book and realizing, oh man, so much of it is disrupted. Yeah, I really want some offensive strategies as well. So keep your referral networks fresh. Make sure to add referral across wherever you can, your email signature, your website, or any onboarding materials. But just also remember to don't promise any incentive to your Medicare clients for referring friends. You can't promise anything. It's out of CMS regulation. So always make sure that you mention that the value of referrals to you, if you did a great job and it was a great experience, their friends and family are going to want their friends and family to also have a great experience. So that'll be an easy A for you, but just make sure that you're not doing anything that is outside of CMS compliance rules. You might recognize some of the people in this photo. This is the way that we tend to market ourselves as an FMO, is by being involved in the community. The best way to meet new people is to get out and meet new people. Joining local clubs and chambers. This is also how you can get some referrals from people within the financial community, within the real estate community, stuff like that. So go to local clubs, chambers, and events. This is Randy and I attending our Southfield Chamber events. I have seen agents there before, so good on you guys if you are some of those who did attend one of those events. You can sponsor the events as well and get your logo up on there for the events. Sometimes they are pretty good value for what you get when you sponsor events that are out forward facing, like something like the bowling event. You can then offer at that point, once you've established a relationship within that chamber or that community, to do Medicare 101s. There's always someone doing a Medicare 101. I live in Warren personally, and there's always someone doing a Medicare 101 every month at the Warren Library or the Warren Community Center. There's sometimes one at the Council of Aging. So if you can find one of those in your area and do a Medicare 101, you are way likely to get referrals from there or get clients from there, or other types of educational events. We have a webinar about doing educational events that have nothing to do with Medicare and then just mentioning at the end, hey, I do Medicare. One of the examples we did was, do a painting class or whatever. And then just, hey, just so you know, in case you ever need any help with health insurance, let me know. Kind of deal. If you would like any refreshers on how to do those events, we have a Take the Fear Out of Medicare 101 video, and we have a 8 Things Medicare Agents Forget During Marketing Presentations video that can help make sure that you are getting everything you need into those presentations. So then we have our advertising. As you might know, you can market online or market in other places to get yourself out there. Blue Cross sometimes gives out dollars to get yourself some advertising. We can help with your advertising as well. I've designed many a advertisement for a agency, whether that be a TV ad in a waiting room, whether that be I've done playing cards, I've done bottle openers, we've done online banner ads, as you can see here. I've done billboards, I've done calendars, I've done all sorts of stuff. So anything you can think of, we can do those things for you. Magazines are helpful. We've done banners on baseball diamonds. We've done all sorts of stuff. So there's tons of options for you. Whatever you are going to shine as bright as a community contributor is a great place to go. I know that we're in the hockey community personally. We will go to hockey people for anything. If someone's on the team and they need help, we get referrals that way as well. And if you need some help and you'd like some ride along help, so you can pause and stuff, you have your Facebook ads video, and you have a video of some of the free tools that you can use to either advertise yourself or create some marketing materials for yourself. Just make sure that you are staying compliant. If you need help with that, you can also ask any one of us, and we can make sure that your ad's compliant before you get it out there. If you need help knowing what ways to advertise and how to target an audience, this is also an option to learn what keywords agencies are using online and gathering leads, and then try to either beat out those words or find words that are similar but different. So if the person's typing it differently, you will target those people and get swipe them out from underneath those people's feet. If you need help with any of those things, we have lots of videos for that as well. We have a way to create AI tools like I displayed earlier with using Claude to help you write emails. I have videos on how to steal ideas from the internet as to what's the most popular thing being searched in your area. And you can either write marketing materials to support those searches, or create ads to target those areas, or to create multi-channels of marketing. So taking one piece that you worked really hard on that covers all those things and how to transform it into different types of marketing to hit all those areas, that is also covered in those videos as well. So lots of options. If you need help getting started, you can talk to Randy or myself. We are more than willing to help you. But no matter if you're doing offense or defense, it is always important to utilize your individual team. Oh, sorry, I pushed the button twice. To utilize your individual team. They are your coaches, players, and equipment that you can use to better your business. They are the ones you contact if you were interested in getting one of those disruption reports, like I spoke to you about earlier. They can help you with processing support. So even if you're not interested in getting your face on a billboard, which is understandable to an extent, if you just want to put the nitty gritty of the work that you're doing on the back burner so you can really focus on contacting, having those appointments, that is where we can support you as well. So we can assist you with escalations, we can help you with processing, we can help you follow up on tasks, we can call for you. There's so many things we can do to help support you. We can send you materials. We have a knowledge base. We have all those recordings I just mentioned earlier. We have coverage for one. We have coverage for companies if that's your flavor. So more than tons of ways that we can support you. In case you are on this call and are new to us and are not aware of everything we can do. We're not just a training company. We are not just an app processing. We are not just your coverage for one people. We have a lot of different things that we can do for you. Just give us a call and we can help. So, Randy, is there anything you would like to add to the people before we close it out for today?
Yes. As Chelsea said, first of all, of course, you have a great support system here at Action Benefits. Always happy to support you however you can or however we can. What I would pay attention to for the remainder of this AEP, right, is if you are in that defense mode, that you have found a way to touch every one of your clients at least once. Make sure they haven't been scooped up by someone else, whether another agent or a call center. It is so easy, in fact, because during AEP, the last app in is the one that matters, right? That you maybe check in one more time before December 7th, right? So even if you think the enrollment's already there and you've got your approvals from the individual team, couldn't hurt to have, if you can squeeze the time in, couldn't hurt to have one more phone call to your clients just to make sure that they haven't been swept up anywhere else, that they haven't made a choice, that hurts them potentially and frankly hurts your business. So the big thing I have for you is when you think AEP is done, right? It's not quite yet. Make some time during that last 3 days AEP to check in with your clients, make sure that they're sticking with the choice you made to protect your business going forward. If you don't, someone else may be, right? Some other agents may be out there playing offense right up through the last few days of AEP, trying to steal, recruit, do whatever they can to rewrite your clients and put them in their books of business. And that's the last thing you want, especially after everything we know you're going through this AEP. Whether it's bunny hills or rescue helicopters. So all that said, thank you all for joining here today. Chelsea, thanks for driving the conversation here today.